Australia, land of kangaroos, pristine beaches, and vibrant cities. But behind the picturesque landscapes and iconic landmarks lies one of the world's most sought-after immigration systems. In 2025, however, a major shift is taking place. One that has left potential immigrants, international students, and global businesses wondering what's next. Yes, we're talking about Australia's visa reduction plan. Now, before you panic or celebrate, let's dive into what this plan actually entails, why it's happening, and how it could affect you. Whether you're planning to migrate, study, or work in Australia, this is something you can't afford to ignore. Why is Australia reducing visas in 2025? Let's start with the question everyone's asking. Why? Australia has historically been known for its welcoming immigration policies. So why is it suddenly pulling back? Over the past decade, Australia's population growth has been heavily driven by immigration. While this has fueled economic growth, it has also put a strain on infrastructure, housing, and public services. Cities like Sydney and Melbourne are bursting at the seams, with skyrocketing house prices and congested public transport systems. The government's visa reduction plan is part of a broader strategy to rebalance population growth and address these challenges. But there's more to the story, as geopolitical tensions, the lingering impacts of the pandemic, and a shift towards prioritizing domestic talent have all played a role. The Australian government is also looking to revamp the immigration system to make it more targeted and aligned with Australia's long-term goals. It's not about shutting the door entirely, it's about being more selective. How big is the reduction? While the government hasn't slashed visa quotas across the board, certain categories are being hit harder than others. For 2025, the total permanent migration cap has been reduced by 20%, and skilled migration, traditionally a cornerstone of Australia's immigration policy, is facing a 15% cut. Family visas have seen a 10% reduction, and temporary work visas are being tightened with stricter eligibility criteria. However, international students and humanitarian visas have been relatively spared. The government recognizes the significant contribution of international students to Australia's economy and is maintaining steady pathways for refugees and asylum seekers. But even in these categories, expect more scrutiny and competition. Skilled migration, the biggest shakeup. If you're a skilled worker eyeing Australia, you've probably noticed that this category is getting the most attention. The new rules prioritize occupations that are in critical demand, and the point system has also been updated, giving more weight to regional areas and specific industries. For instance, a software engineer with a job offer in Sydney might now find it harder to secure a visa than someone in the same role who's willing to work in regional Queensland. The government's message is clear. They want to spread the population and skills more evenly across the country. This is both a challenge and an opportunity, and while it's harder to get into urban hubs, regional areas are rolling out the red carpet for skilled migrants. Think incentives like faster processing times, relocation grants, and long-term residency pathways. So if you're flexible about where you live, you might find that this new system works in your favor. What about international students? Australia's education sector has long been a magnet for international students. But with the visa reduction plan, the pathway from student visas to permanent residency is becoming narrower. New policies are being introduced to ensure that international students contribute to areas of genuine need. Courses in healthcare, education, and technology are being prioritized, while pathways for other fields are being scaled back. Additionally, post-study work rights are being tied more closely to regional and high-demand areas. If you're an aspiring student, it's time to think strategically by choosing a course and location that align with Australia's long-term goals. And remember, academic excellence alone won't cut it anymore, as gaining work experience in your field of study is more important than ever. Temporary workers, a tougher road ahead. For temporary workers, the visa reduction plan introduces higher thresholds for eligibility. Employers now need to prove that they've exhausted local talent pools before hiring from overseas. Salary thresholds have also been raised to ensure that temporary workers are filling genuine skill shortages rather than competing with domestic workers. The government is also cracking down on visa misuse. Industries like hospitality and agriculture, which have historically relied on temporary workers, are being urged to invest in training local talent. While this is good news for Australian workers, it means fewer opportunities for overseas applicants. Permanent residency challenges. For those dreaming of permanent residency, the pathway is becoming more selective, as the focus is now on applicants who can demonstrate long-term value to Australia. This means high-demand skills, regional contributions, and a strong commitment to integrating into Australian society. Expect more rigorous checks and balances, from skills assessments to English proficiency. The government is also introducing new metrics to measure an applicant's potential economic and social impact. It's no longer just about ticking boxes, it's about proving that you're an asset to the country. The humanitarian aspect. One area where Australia is maintaining its commitments is humanitarian visas. The government has pledged to uphold its responsibilities to refugees and asylum seekers, with a focus on those fleeing conflict and persecution. While the overall numbers remain steady, the selection criteria are being refined to prioritize the most vulnerable. The regional push. A recurring theme in the visa reduction plan is the push towards regional areas. The government is pulling out all the stops to make regional Australia more attractive, not just for migrants, but for everyone. Think better infrastructure, more job opportunities, and stronger community support systems. If you've never considered living outside Australia's major cities, now might be the time to explore. Regional areas offer a lower cost of living, a higher quality of life, and now a faster track to residency. How to navigate the changes. So, what should you do if you're planning to move to Australia in 2025? Here are a few tips. 1. Stay informed. Immigration policies are constantly evolving, so keep an eye on official announcements and consult reputable migration agents. 2. Be strategic. Align your plans with Australia's priorities, and whether it's choosing a course, a job, or a location, think about where you can add the most value. 3. Be flexible. Opportunities may arise in unexpected places, so don't be afraid to explore regional areas or switch to a high-demand field. 4. Plan ahead. The new rules mean longer processing times and stricter requirements, which is why you should start your application early and be thorough. Australia's visa reduction plan in 2025 is a game-changer, and while it's creating new challenges, it's also opening up opportunities for those who are prepared to adapt. Whether you're an aspiring migrant, a student, or a business owner, the key is to stay informed and be proactive. At its core, this plan is about shaping a sustainable and equitable future for Australia. And while change is never easy, it's also an opportunity to build a better system, one that benefits both the nation and those who choose to call it home. So what's your next step? Let us know your thoughts and questions in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into global migration trends. Until next time, stay curious and stay informed.